Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to turn my camera on so you can see who it is who's been talking to you. For those of you who've been on the line for a while, thanks so much for coming today. This is our very first session for JumpStart 2020. What JumpStart is a series of workshops that help students, alumni, community members spend some time focused in on their careers before the semester gets a little bit busy. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please make time in your schedule to take advantage of as many of these workshops as you'd like. We'd love to see you at many of them. Today's workshop is called What to Expect from Career Services for Fall 2020. And before I get out of the way and introduce my colleague, Kristin Leonato, I just want to announce a couple of housekeeping things. You are all on mute and there is no video component for this workshop. But what you can do is put your questions into either the chat bar along the side of your screen or into the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. I'll be checking both of those. If it's a simple question I can answer on the spot, I will. If not, we'll hold it and we'll ask Kristin to get to it towards the end of the presentation. So again, type questions as you think of them. And with that, I'm going to turn my webcam off and send you over to Kristin, who has so much to share. Kristin, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, Mary Claire. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kristin Leonato. I'm the Associate Director for Strategic Initiatives, coming to you from Fairfax campus. I'm sitting in my office for the first time in a long time, and it feels great. I am very excited to be back. If you do have like a burning question that you just hope we talk about today, feel free to go ahead and put that in the chat. That way we'll definitely go over it. Right now we're talking about kind of overview, right? And later on at 2, my colleague Phil is going to talk about networking, and then my colleague Rachel is going to be on at 3:30 to talk about, picking a major, which is a big question for all of our students. But now let's get to the task at hand. So we started, the original idea was to think about kind of what is university career services in 2020. And we actually decided to back it up even more of a step back than that, since most of our students who've never used a career center before or have only kind of heard of it vaguely. So let's kind of talk about what is career services and how do we support you while you're here at Mason. So first we have, we talk a lot about career-ready graduates, right? Mason loves to put that on, banners and all sorts of stuff. So what does that even mean? Like, what are you supposed to, what is a career-ready graduate? So we came up with something that was really visual, which is what we call the career readiness equation, which is step 1, earn the degree. It's a big challenge, right? Priority 1, right? Earn that degree. So second one, gain experiences, at least 2. New experiences related to your field of interest, and we'll talk more about that. For a lot of our students, market yourself is where they think to come to talk to us. How do I make my resume stand out? How do I even write a resume? What even is a cover letter? That's when we see us. And then you got to put all those pieces together to be career ready, to feel confident when you hopefully walk across the stage or receive your virtual diploma when you graduate, so you can kind of go confident in knowing that you're prepared. But we also serve you after that. So we serve alumni as well. So for the rest of your lives. But this can be a lot, even though we've kind of distilled it down into some clear chunks. It still is like, well, what does that even mean either, right? So let's talk about it. At Mason, we have tried to think about our services and design them in a way that meets you where you are. There's no average Mason student. There's no common experience shared amongst all of our 40,000 students. So we're just trying to meet you where you are and give you a service that gets you to the next step at all the different times along the way. So let's talk about where some of you might be right now. Classes start next week. I need money for books. Or I have to work. I need a job. I've got to figure out this. I don't even have a resume. What is a cover letter? I see people working on campus, I think, or even, my rent's due. So a lot of you might be saying things like this to yourself when someone mentions the start of the semester, or, you know, kind of anything around career services, jobs, or anything like that. You know, what does that even mean? And so if these are the kind of questions you're asking yourself right now, we've got great stuff to get you to the next step. So first and foremost is Handshake. Handshake is our job and internship database at its most core. But it's also a bunch of other things. You already have a Handshake account, whether you know it or not. You don't have to create one. You log into Handshake with that same net ID and password that you log into everything else, you know, for Blackboard or Patriot Web or all those other things, two-factor, just like you do for everything else. And Handshake really has a whole lot all in one. It is your best friend if you are looking for an on-campus job, if you are trying to look for a part-time job, if on or off campus, if you're trying to meet other people and figure out what you can do with this major. You know, it's a great resource for you to do that. So let me see if I can show you a little bit what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Handshake. Let's see. So Mary Claire, can you tell me, do you see Handshake or do you see my slide?
I see Handshake. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So when you log into Handshake on any browser, there's an app as well. You know, you start out at a dashboard that kind of looks like this. And again, you don't have to create an account. It's just set up for you. And when you come into this dashboard, you can see at the top, jobs, events, Q&A, students. Those students are your peers, your kind of peer network. But for a lot of our students, you know, that you come in, first thing, jobs. So you get in here, and if you look across the top, there's several, these are the big filters: location, full-time job, internship, part-time, on campus. If you're looking to work on campus, virtually or not, you know, you want to be employed by someone who's on campus, especially if you're an international student and you can only work on campus for your visa restrictions, you want to click that filter, because that's going to get you down to, you know, the most, these stuff is definitely on campus. There are some other things you might have to search for George Mason University or other things, but on campus is going to get you to those on-campus jobs, and they're hiring. So there's a lot of stuff happening. If you're still looking for a part-time job, if you want to work on campus or for an office on campus, if you want to work for career services, we're looking for front desk support, especially if you're free on Thursdays. Come check us out. It's posted on Handshake. You can see jobs. That's where a lot of us times spend. If you also in here, you've got events. We'll go more. So stuff like JumpStart will be posted here. Q&A is posing questions about different things. And students, as you can see, your peers. If you've made things, if you've made it public. So if you've made a choice. Other important thing in here is Career Center. If you click on over here, you can learn a little bit about us, but there's this one way to make an appointment. Schedule an appointment. And we'll go over more about that as well. So let me swap back to the slide. Let's see, what do we have? What do you see now?
Right now, we're still seeing Handshake.
Okay.
There you go. There's your slide. There's
my slide. Perfect. So as we, let's see here. So that's Handshake. That's a great way to start. And if you're like, oh goodness, I don't even know, I don't have a resume, I don't know, whatever. If you're thinking to yourself, any of these things, like, can you look at my resume? This is what we hear a lot. Can you look at my resume? I need my resume reviewed for a class. You might have a class that requires you to write a resume and get it reviewed for us. Is my Handshake profile okay? Or even I have an interview for an on-campus job on Friday and I don't know what to do. I've never had to do that before. So we have something called drop-ins, which are Monday through Friday, 1 to 3. You don't need an appointment. You can just call us during that time, or you can submit your resume and cover letter to be reviewed. So, and you can do that any time of day. Or now that we're back open, we're going to be open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So an in-person drop-in, if you really want to walk on your sturdy feet over here, we'll be here in drop-ins Monday in person, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got a nice socially distanced setup all ready to be able to meet with you and discuss your options in person as well. But if you want your resume reviewed, you can email us at careers.gmu.edu at any time of day, and then someone will review it during those drop-in hours. Same thing, you can email us and say, hey, can you look at my Handshake profile? Someone will look at it, send you some feedback via email as well. So in drop-ins, we can help you. You're usually talking to a peer career advisor. They can help you easily with resume review, cover letter, interview prep, Handshake profile. You want someone to look at your LinkedIn profile, that sort of stuff. And we also always have a professional staff on shift as well for, you know, bigger questions. All right, so maybe you've got that settled, but you're a couple weeks into class and you're thinking to yourself, my class is boring. My classes are so boring. Or, oh, the major form is due. Or, oh, I have to pick a major. Or I need to register for classes already for next semester. How do I even know what to pick? Or maybe things aren't going great. You know, maybe I did great at Nova, but things are just not translating here. My family expects me to be doing really well. I'm the first person to go to college, and it just doesn't feel right, you know. You know, or even I'm even more confused now than when I got here. Like, this is even more than I thought. We're here as a resource for you for these questions as well, especially around what you should pick as a major, you know, what kind of direction, assessing your options, having that conversation. And the person you have that conversation with is what we call a career counselor. This is someone who's trained as a counselor to talk to you about, you know, through career related choices, which when you're in university, that is often, what is your major? You know, should you minor? Should there be a concentration? Use that. And, or, you know, if it's not working. So sometimes you're picking between multiple majors. Sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, I came in thinking I was going to do this and now I hate it. Or I really wanted to do this, but you're not doing great in those classes. So how do we, you know, maybe that's a sign that you're not in love with it. So how do we, a career counselor, you can make an appointment to talk to them, or you can talk to them on a drop-in appointment. And they can help you. They're not going to sit down and be like, you should major in biology and become a biochemist. They're not going to say that. It's not come in and we tell you what you do. There are some assessments you can do and other things to help you kind of hone in on who is the you inside of you, right? And kind of what you should major in. How do you choose? How do you think about some of these things? And how do you start? If you're like, okay, I realize I love being a people person and I like doing hands-on work and I am really good at math. Okay, so what does that kind of direction does lead us in? You know, and what are maybe some things we should count out? And so they can kind of help you work through that. And this can be at any stage, whether you're coming in and you're not just sure about to change your major, or you're coming in as a graduate student and you had a plan and it all fell apart or didn't work. Or if you're a career switcher, we work with a lot of career switchers who are like, I have a lot of experience in this one field, and how do I translate that into something else? Or what are my options over here? I'm done with this other thing, but I'm not quite sure how to dive in to the new thing, you know, whatever future me is going to be. And there's a lot of conversations that we can do, help you, you know, self-assess, and then how do you convey that into kind of the next step, you know, in your journey. So there's a lot of information there, and working with a career counselor, either you can meet with them once or several times, or, you know, several times over the course of your time at Mason as you know, sit at different places in your own personal journey. Okay, so moving forward, sometimes you're like, my friend is doing an internship, but a lot of times, you know, you might hear about that and be like, I can't, I have to work. I have to help my family. I'm not from here. I don't know where to look. Why? Or, you know, I've been working for 20 years. Why would I want to do an internship? Or even the most frustrating, I've sent out 50 resumes and no one's gotten back to me. You know, we talk about you need pertinent experience upon graduation. You need it. And employers are looking for 6 to 12 months, you know, related stuff when you graduate, no matter what level. Okay, so how are you going to get that? You're going to have to find a way to prioritize it. And the internship is the most #1 thing that employers are looking for. It's not the only way. It is, you know, a good option, but it's not the only way. So, but trying to figure out what does that look like? Where can I intern? You know, what should I be looking for? Do they pay? Can I get a paid internship? Absolutely. You know, the person who in our office who can really help you with that is what we call an industry advisor who does industry advising. So when you come into your career services, we're not going to ask you what's your major and then, oh, you talk to this person who works with all of the public health majors. We're going to ask you, what do you want to do with your major? How do you want to use your major? And even if it's like something in law enforcement, okay, great. It doesn't have to be like, I know exactly where I want to work on, you know, May 25th, the day after I graduate. Just like I've got a broad general scope, you know, I want to be a graphic designer. Okay, great. And so as you're looking at things in life and we can help you with these kind of regular problems. Like I need a job, either a part-time job now, which is a great way, you know, working part-time in the field of interest is just as good or better than an internship. So if you can, there are a lot of ways you can work part-time already in your field of interest without getting a degree. Where do you look? Where am I supposed to be looking for these? How do I make my resume better? How do I tailor it to what these employers are looking for? So especially if you've been like banging your head against a wall, sending the exact same resume out to 50 people and you're getting nowhere, it's time to come talk to us. Save yourself the hurt. Your soul doesn't need that. Okay. Come and let us talk to you about what things might be looking for. So for instance, a federal resume has to look completely different than a regular resume. It has to be completely different than a CV. And we've got that special knowledge that we are so excited to share with you. Something like, what is even networking? What does that even mean? We can talk to you about that. How do you prepare for an interview? Your industry advisor, which you can meet with by appointment or different workshops and events, can really go through all of these things with you and talk about the ways to gain experience and what might be the best ones for you. There's certain roles, you know, an internship is usually always a good choice, but there are certain things where research should really be your second experience. There's some options where volunteering in the community might be a good choice, or shadowing, or where you really might want to find a way to get an international experience onto your resume. And your industry advisor can talk to you about what might be the best things for your industry. Also, we've got career courses. So our students are busy. Our students have busy lives. And so a lot of our services are set up so you can kind of do chunks at a time. Like, you know, here you're going to work on this and here you're going to work on this. But some students really want structure, or you know that you need an internship this summer and you need to make that a priority. So you're going to take one of our career courses, which are just 1 credit. This fall, they're all online. And you go through the process with a group of peers and with someone from our team. And, you know, we have ones on confirming or deciding a major. So if you're like, I have lots of thoughts, how do I sort through this? That's a great one for second semester freshmen or sophomores. We've got ones on finding a job or internship, which is great. Helping you, that one, we're going to go through your resume. We're going to talk about practice interviewing. We're going to write some cover letters. And so you're confident when you're applying for those. And then we've got several we call them college to career courses. Some of these are major specific. So you're a global affairs major, and this is a college career course specific to your major. And those are great things to kind of keep you on track and, you know, kind of hold yourself accountable when life feels really hectic, which it all does these days. So then eventually you're going to come to a point where you're like, man, I need the full-time job, you know. You're like, I've got loans to pay. I need to hit the ground running when I graduate. So if any of these phrases kind of resonate with you, like, oh man, I got to get going. Like, oh, I know I keep getting these emails and I should really do something about them. And, or I'm not from here, you know, I'm not sure how to do a job search here if I want to stay, but also one where I'm from, or maybe even someplace else. How do you kind of do all those things? Or you're going through a process and it just isn't working. You know, it just isn't working. This is a great place for an industry advisor to work with you, to kind of sit down, talk about what you've tried, what you can try next, what's resonating, what's not, how to get through all of that. And it's also a chance, this is at your place, to start going to events if you haven't been going to events already, and really getting out and meeting people and talking to them, especially in a job market that's a little tighter than it used to be. Having a personal connection is huge. And we have employers who come to campus and talk just to our students because they so much like Mason students. And so if you can say, oh, I met you at this thing, or you actually connect with someone at a career fair, they're more likely to pass that resume on with a gold star on it, right? They've met you. So we have a lot of events coming up. This is all going to happen virtually this fall. Every single piece of it, starting with JumpStart, you see. Next Wednesday, we have the part-time job fair, which is all part-time jobs, some on campus, mostly off campus, some virtual, some in person. We have industry weeks. This semester is government week. So if you're interested in working for any level of government, county, state, local, in any sort of realm, this is a great one. We've got great things for like arts and government, and different things, the health and sciences and government, that sort of stuff. We have resume clinic leading up to the fair, career fair and career night. And so one of the things you'll see in JumpStart this week is a session on preparing for a virtual job fair. What's the same, what's different, how to get ready. And we've got a bunch of virtual interviewing. So we normally have something called on-campus interviewing, where an employer comes, sits in an office in the corner of us, and interviews Mason students all day long. So we're going to do that again, but they're going to be sitting in their own office. So these are opportunities expressly extended to Mason students for full-time jobs, some internships as well. They're posted in Handshake along with everything else, that they're here to get Mason students because they've had great success with them in the past. And these are the easiest way to do it because you come, they're already looking for Mason students, you meet with them virtually, you know, you kind of go through the process. And you're there. So we're looking forward to doing that. Now I talked about a lot, right? Like I talk fast and I just talked about a lot. And so, you know, we can serve you in so many ways. Your tuition already pays for us, right? So let us get your money's worth by coming and using our services, okay? But we know, again, you've got a lot going on. So this is a quote from one of our students who got our unpaid internship scholarship last summer. I currently attend Mason as full-time. I work part-time and I'm raising my 2 kids. I'm concerned about how I'll be able to afford to devote time to an internship, my capstone course, and still be able to work, right? This is a very common experience amongst the Mason student. And so often what students reach us out for is, how do you prioritize? You've got a limited amount of time. So what do I do with that time? How do I intentionally make use of the opportunities I do have to really best set yourself up for your long-term goals? So, and that's something, a great conversation to have with, and with an unbiased person, you know? So your family and other friends can be a great support. But we all have our own ideas about things. So sitting and having that conversation with someone who's unbiased and can talk through what your options are and how we can kind of make it work can help you have, you know, a clear vision of what those pieces are and how you can fit them into your life. Again, so The other thing we hear a lot from our students is it seems easier for everybody else. You know, especially if you hear, I hear about someone who already got an offer. I hear about these people put it on social media that they're doing all this other stuff. It's not. It's always hard. Job searching, internship stuffing, these are hard decisions. It's why we have jobs to help you with these. And coming to us, we can help you again, clarify what that next right step is. And it's not necessarily right. There's no one right path. It's not like, here's this thing, if you did this and this and this, you have a future greatness. They live happily ever after. That's not life, right? We want to help you find your path. So what's your path? What's your right path? What's your next step to get you, you know, wherever you want to be tomorrow or next semester, you know, or a year down the road or 2 weeks out after graduation. So where are we? Yes, we are in the Chick-fil-A building. So we are looking forward to meeting you after spending some time, more time together in JumpStart. Our office is open virtually, you know, by phone, email, virtual appointments from 8:30 to 5 every day. We also have virtual evening appointments that you also can schedule through Handshake. Those are Sunday through Thursday, 7 to 11. So the last scheduled appointment is at 10. And then we will be in person for in-person appointments and drop-ins on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 4. And we're always on our social media. So these are our handles. We also have a YouTube channel. So all of these events that we've been doing in the summertime, today's workshop, and everything else. So if you're only able to hit 2 or 3 of the ones from JumpStart this week, those will all eventually be put on our YouTube channel for your future reference. So I've been talking a lot. What questions do we still have outstanding, Mary Claire?
I'm back for questions.
Yay!
We've been chatting offline. A lot of questions have come in about making an appointment
Okay.
or questions that would ultimately be best handled via appointment. So I just want to draw everybody's attention to the webpage I just put into the chat window. That lays out all your options for making an appointment. Because a lot of times that is a great first step to really discussing a lot of the types of questions that have been coming in through the Q&A. Kristin, I wanted to ask, and we have a short bit of time, so if you have a new question, please go ahead and type it either into the chat or Q&A. I wanted to ask you to go over the drop-ins procedure again. If somebody is interested in a virtual drop-in, what do they do?
Let me actually show you where this information is. New share. Let's see if I did it. It worked so well. Let's see if it works again. What are you seeing right now? Are you seeing our career services site? The homepage. All right. So this is our homepage. Okay. Good old fashioned homepage. On here, there's a bunch of things that I can draw your attention to. First is you want to hang out under that students tab. So the first thing under appointment, under students, make an appointment. And then there's all sorts of other good stuff, you know, for you to kind of peruse, or as you're getting ready, or if you can't get an appointment today, you know, as you get ready. Lots of different stuff here. So that first thing is make an appointment. This is also in Handshake as well. So now, for drop-ins, why is it thinking? It's thinking so hard. Let's try that. Now can you see, if you see what, is it following me or no? Yes, okay. So in make an appointment, so this first thing you'll see is resume and cover letter review. And this has those things. If you want to have your stuff reviewed via email, you just email it in at careers@gmu.edu, and then someone will get back to you the next day between 11 and 1. And so they'll send you back your document with kind of comments and that sort of things. There's also information about how to, you know, schedule different types of appointments, which is all online in Handshake. But we have a little bit more information about what those types of appointments might be, just to give you a heads up. If you have no idea what help you are looking for, no worries. You just call us and we'll be like, oh, you're probably looking for this type. This is probably the best person for you to talk to. And then we can make an appointment for you right over the phone. Also, if you make an appointment in Handshake, we'll ask you like, what do you want to know? and that usually helps us get to the right space and time as well. All right. So the other thing while I've got this up is to look at our career readiness guide, which we're redoing, but this is beautiful. It's got lots of resume samples, cover letters. This is a great resource as you work on your own. Definitely something that people continue to use often even after they graduate. What else have we got, Mary Claire?
So we're really close to time. I want to try to squeak in these 2 last questions because I think they're really great. First of all, do we help recent graduates?
Absolutely. We help all graduates. So if
Yeah.
you are a Mason alumni, we can help you. You can be in Handshake. You have Handshake access theoretically for the rest of your life. Also, you can participate in all of our events as well, individual appointments. You can use all of our services for your natural life.
It's one of our greatest joys is to have students come back and help them even along their career trajectory as it continues. So Asia, please keep us in mind. And lastly, and then we'll have to call it, is there a certain year where someone should look to do an internship, or is it unique for every situation?
Both. Some of it is you do it when you can. Some of that is. There are opportunities for freshmen to do internships. The majority of internships for undergraduates. For graduates, there's a lot of opportunities for graduate students, law students, doctoral students, things like that. But for undergraduates, you're going to see the most opportunities starting in junior year, sophomore into junior year, but definitely before you graduate. It's also great to do one your last semester. We have a lot of students who are hired into jobs out of their internships. That's one of the reasons why companies have internship programs, is to recruit people who they already know. So that can be a great time to have an internship as well.
Great answer. So lastly, before we close out, there's been, again, a lot of chatter, typing back and forth, answering questions as we've gone along. If my advice to you was to talk with your industry advisor, you don't need to know who that person is. You just need to call or set up an appointment via Handshake using one of the options that Kristin laid out, and our team will match you with your industry advisor. So all you need to say is exactly what you had said to me. I'm looking to make an appointment, and they'll take care of the rest.
Yes, if you request an appointment, then say, I'm interested in the health industry, you're going to get an appointment with Caroline Ramirez Gaston, because she's our industry advisor for health and science. So we're going to make sure it gets you to the right place.
So Kristin, thank you so much for guiding us through what's going to be going on this fall semester. To the 60 of you who joined us, I'm just thrilled. What great questions, such great engagement. And I can't wait to see many of you either in our office or virtually throughout the rest of our presentations. Be sure you check out the part-time fair. It's going to be stacked full of great employers. You can see a listing of those on our website as well. Also be sure to be checking that event calendar because it's updated all the time. So on behalf of Kristin and myself, thank you for joining, and hopefully I see you at many of our other sessions. Take care.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye, everybody.